Manager John Still left it very late, but a point here at Accrington Stanley. Your thoughts first of all on the 90 minutes?
First half I was quite pleased, away from home, first game of the season, settled in and thought we did. We said at half time I felt the longer the game would go, we'd get stronger, and I thought they showed. I thought there were a few people going down with little bits of cramp and that, and I know we're strong. But I can't understand Smudge. The thing we talk about all the time, don't go on your arse in the box particularly, but don't go stand up, and he's known this fella's wide. If he crosses it and someone scores, that's not his fault, that's someone else's fault. And they scored, and you know what we did? I thought we had a little panic up in our game, because we didn't really feel we'd go behind. We didn't. We knew that if we could keep getting the ball forward and getting it into people in and around the box, we could cause them some problems. We took a little bit of a gamble by letting them have a little bit of midfield and leaving people up. We had to take a gamble. Fortunately, it paid off. What do I think of the 90 minutes? We can play better than that. But away from home, first game of the season, would I be happy to sort of take a point? I don't know, I'd be happy, but I won't be that disappointed.
Given the goal came so late, I'm sure the point was, you know...
Of course, but you know, one of my bugbears particularly in the first sort of 6-8 games of the season, you know, I always say it takes 6-8, maybe 9 games for the season to sort out. You've got to dig in and make no mistakes and get as many points as you can. That's what you've got to do. And you know, if a good move, someone scores a goal, you go, okay, that's fair play. But to contribute to that, I think with a lack of discipline now, Jonathan Smith is the hardest working, most committed player you can get, and I love him for it. But it's got to have discipline. You can't, you know, games are won and lost on sort of small margins. And fair play, we battled back to a great effort from Craig, coming like going off Jonathan. But you know, at the end of the day, you know, if you make errors that are unavoidable, you know, we all make mistakes, but if you make errors that are unavoidable, you're not going to help yourself. The first one's out the way and I'm delighted with that.
The important thing when you make a mistake in football is to make up for it, and he did know a lot about it though, to be fair, didn't he?
About it, I don't think. It was a great strike from Craig. But no, we you know, we said before, we actually said in the week, you know, first game away from home, solid, strong, determined, give nothing away. Because the rest will follow. We've got very good players. The rest will follow. You can't, you know, as I said, you can't give away goals, and I thought we did.
Were you concerned that generally there weren't too many clear-cut chances for your team?
No, I was. I thought that, you know, I didn't think there was that many in the game. If I'm being honest, I think both goalkeeper Elliott made, I think, one reasonably decent save. I don't think there was too many, but I think it's that time of the season. I think that, you know, all teams will. Well, most teams, I'm not saying all teams, will probably, you know, find their way a little bit in the next sort of 4, 5, 6 games. But we have to get as many points in those games as we can. People say my teams, and I say it sometimes, you know, start a bit slow, and I understand that. But we've changed something just a little bit this year that we hope might just push us on a little bit further than you know, like what might normally happen. But we'll have to wait and see with that, but you know, I think it will.
Talking of the teams, the club have been running a competition this week for fans to guess the starting 11 with a shirt up for grabs. I don't think many perhaps would have predicted the 11. Talk to us about the players that were out there today and perhaps some that were missing.
Yeah, we went with Paddy. He's not as fit as we want him to be. He sort of had a little bit of injury, so he's not played as many games. But then again, nor has Paddy really. So but we thought that Paddy just might be able to pull some strings early on for us, and he did it. You know, flitted in and out a bit, but he did. Steve O'Donnell, fought away from home. Steve has settled in really well. We really like him, but we actually felt that they might test us a bit aerially, so we went with Scott there. We went with Scott Cuthbert there with Steve. we wanted to try and attack with sort of Paddy giving a little bit of a licence in the wide position, Greeny high and 2 down the middle. So we went with Jonathan and Doyley as opposed to Cameron. Ryan Hall is probably 90 minutes away from being properly fit. That's about it, I think, of, you know, who might have and who might not have done, I don't know.
And you mentioned Pelly coming back in as well, so after missing the back end of last season, great to see him on the pitch. And
no, absolutely, it's like a new player, and he's been out a long while, so it will take him a few games to get into it, as it will 1 or 2. But you know, Pelly, it's good to have Pelly back, to be honest, it's a plus.
And talking to new players, Jack Marriott came off the bench and looked extremely lively. He netted 4 goals in a friendly
he did.
against Barton, didn't he, in the week?
He did. Jack's done very well. I like Jack. We all like Jack. So getting him on, you know, he can stretch people. He wants to shoot. He wants to run at people, and we give ourselves an extra attacker, if you like. And you know what? It was really weird because, you know, we thought that they'd try and run Jack that way, but they didn't. They left him there, and that sort of quite suited us because we could get the ball to Jack a little bit higher as opposed to deeper. So, you know, that was not necessarily a tactic from us, but it's just how it worked out.
So first game under the belt, looking to move straight on, and Tuesday night comes around before we know it.
Yeah, it's a different game Tuesday because we're going to play a championship side. So, you know, we'll approach that well. We'll be ready for it, and you know, we'll dig in and try and, you know, put in a really, really good performance. And I think, you know, hopefully blown away a few cobwebs today.
Lovely. Thanks very much, John.
Thank you very much, Simon.
I guess that sort of showed the strength of the squad as well, isn't it? You make 3 changes as you did, and they all come on and all sort of implemented as well.
Yeah,
very good at that.
Yeah, a bit unlucky not to start Paul, to be honest. But he cut his head the other day, didn't he? And then so he missed a bit, had to miss a bit from there. So, you know, it's another one of those that falls in the category that we didn't have to push him to play, which last year we might have done. But he you know, I think he's a vital cog, I do, for us. You know, the type of player that he is. So yeah, you know, the changes are okay, but it's one game. You know, I'm not going to run away with that at the moment. Good.